Hey everybody, this is Jimmy with Bright Insight. Today I'm going to talk with you about Gobekli Tepe. Bottom line is that this is 100% definitive proof that not only is the history of human civilization far older than what we were taught in school and what is actively still being taught at the public schools and universities, that it is also definitive evidence that there is some sort of lost ancient high technology or machinery that was utilized to not only cut and carve these stones, but lift them and place them where they are. Because when we're talking weights as high as 40 to 60 tons, think about that. Like, how about you research what year it was that we finally developed a crane that could lift that type of weight? And you have to ask yourself, how could this possibly have been done 12,000 years ago? Yes, that's right, 12,000 years ago, as they were able to carbon date from pottery and other artifacts that were located in and around the site. Now, to put that in perspective, what is currently being taught in school about ancient Egypt is that the pyramids are 4,500 years old. Now, I have another video about that, which, look, there's significant evidence that, the ruins around ancient Egypt are significantly older than what we've been taught. But the bottom line here is that we have a site that is twice as old as Stonehenge, and only 5% of it has been excavated. And it's huge. It's 50 times bigger than Stonehenge. In fact, Gobekli Tepe is 90,000 square meters. That's bigger than 12 football fields, people. Like, it's humongous. And guess what? It's located in Turkey, and just a few years ago, Turkey removed all of their funding for the excavation, and this thing hasn't been touched in a few years. And they're only 5%, they've only excavated 5% of it, as validated by ground-penetrating radar. Like, it's absolutely massive. I mean, you can see the pictures here of these T-shaped pillars that range anywhere from 40 to 60 tons. Some of the lower estimates, as you'll read on Wikipedia, say 20 tons, which, by the way, like, if you're researching and getting your information from Wikipedia on anything having to do with ancient technology or ancient civilization, like, you really need to double check not only the sources they list on it, because you'll see huge discrepancies, but you also need to look at information that's put out by leading archaeologists and geologists about, anyways, don't even get me started on that subject, but the information's out there, guys. Go look for it. It's there. Now, what's even more interesting is that Gobekli Tepe is aligned with the north, south, east, and west equinoxes, and it also has alignment with various constellations in the sky. Like, it's unbelievable. Like, how did they have the technology or the knowledge to do something like that 12,000 frickin' years ago? Right now, in what's being taught and what we were taught is that, and they hardly even mention this in school too, but that's a whole other story, is that, so the Sumerian culture located in Mesopotamia dates back 6,000 years ago, and that is considered the first, human civilization. They had the first writing, the first calendar, which we still use today, by the way, and as well as like various mathematical formulas and other things. So that's 6,000 years ago. So this is twice as old as that, and yet if you look at the pictures here on just how complex this shit is, it's unbelievable. And by the way, the pictures that you're seeing are mostly of foxes, snakes, wild boars, cranes, wild ducks, but they also have various human extremities that appear on some of the pillars, arms, and even show some with a tail. It's really, really interesting stuff. But this wasn't discovered until 1995. Gobekli Tepe was discovered by Professor Schmidt from the German Archaeological Institute. And these T-shaped pillars, by the way, that you're looking at are anywhere from 3 to 6 meters tall. So in other words, approximately 20 feet. And at some point, so like I said, this was discovered in 1995, but at some point in the distant past, this was buried. It was deliberately buried. And the way they've excavated with it, the stones and sand and gravel were literally dumped into this huge area. Why? Who knows? Like, maybe someone was trying to hide it. Maybe they were trying to preserve it. There's a million theories, but nobody knows, obviously, right? But there's over 200 of these pillars, of these T-shaped pillars, and they're absolutely ginormous. And when you consider that this is 7,000 years older than Stonehenge, and that it's 90,000 square meters, and that these pillars are 40 to 60 tons, guys, the evidence is right in front of us that they obviously had some sort of amazing technology that was at least on par with what we have today, or maybe more advanced. We don't know. Guys, you have to start researching this global cataclysm that there's overwhelming evidence that happened 11,500 years ago, and another incident 12,700 years ago. You have to start asking yourself some questions here. What we were taught is not accurate. what is currently being taught to our children and as well as people at the university level is not accurate. Why is that? Why is it that the Turkish government has prevented any excavations for the last few years? Why? Guys, hello, wake up. We have the evidence right in front of us, and it's time that these questions start getting answered as far as why is the excavations not currently going on, right? Anyways, this is Jimmy. I'm Bright Insight. Be blessed, all.